What's up, guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's get a little spicy, okay? So I decided to do a standalone spicy corner because I have a lot of things that I screenshotted as it pertains to Real Housewives of Atlanta. And y'all know normally before my reviews, we do a spicy corner, but this time I got too much stuff, and last week's video being an hour shocked me because I didn't think I talked that much. But I'm long-winded, as you can tell. But let's get into this video. All right, y'all. So first, let's talk about Drew. So Drew was doing an interview, I'm guessing for some type of panel, and basically she was asked what's missing from Atlanta, and she actually brought up Nene. So let me play that clip for you guys.
So I think when you think of Real Housewives of Atlanta, you think of Nene Leakes. When you think of Nene Leakes, you think of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I feel like we are missing that voice.
So let's talk about it, y'all. So do you think Drew has a point, or do you feel as though the cast is fine the way it is? I will say this. I do feel like there is something that's missing from the cast, like a missing puzzle piece, but I don't know if that's Nene. Okay. And I'm saying this as someone who used to have their stand card laminated for Miss Nene Leakes. Okay. I mean, I had to let it, I had to keep it deep in my wallet because she was doing too much. I had to relinquish it a little bit, but I still got love for Nene. And I feel like I would love to see her back on TV, but I don't know if Real Housewives of Atlanta is where she should be. And the reason why I say that is I don't know if she would mesh with this group. Like, I do think that Nene would have fun with them, but I don't know if they would be, I know for a fact they wouldn't be able to take her. I know for a fact they wouldn't be able to take her, but I don't know if they would, like, it would make sense. Okay. Because a lot of people feel like Cynthia doesn't make sense, especially without Kenya, but I look at the group and I'm just like, there is something missing. Cause right now, when you look at it, it's definitely Angela and Drew versus everybody else. And it's like Cynthia can't even say that she's the voice of reason or trying to be neutral or be the peacemaker, because she's definitely on Porsha's side. And it doesn't seem like she tries to see anybody else's point of view when it comes to Porsha, and even Britt at this point. And Cynthia is doing what I didn't like what Bose did on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, where it's like you're coming into a situation not knowing the full extent of what happened, and you're trying to give an opinion as if you were there. Now, granted, when Cynthia told Angela and Drew, like, you can't tell Britt how to feel, she was the one that was humiliated. She was right in telling them that. But where Cynthia was wrong for me is that Angela and Drew had every right to not give Drew, Britt, the kindness and the sympathy she was looking for, because she was the one that had a nasty attitude. It's like you can't ask for people to be kind to you and still be nasty. Like, they don't know you, they don't have a friendship with you, so it's not like they're going to give you grace. That was your fault. So Cynthia can't be the only veteran there that's on the show. So I get what Drew is saying, that there needs to be somebody else there. And I do think it needs to be an OG or a vet, but I don't know if it's Nene. Maybe it really is Kenya, because I do feel like if Kenya had stayed, she would have checked Porsha. And what I mean by that is, I don't think she would have checked her in a way that would have caused an argument, but she would have been like, Porsha, you wrong. Like, saying that thing about Angela and Charles, like, is it really that deep? Like, she would question Porsha because neither one of them wanted to argue or beef the whole entire season. But I feel like she would have challenged Porsha in a way that would have made her reroute. And I think that's what's missing. So moving on, y'all, let's talk about Cynthia. So she was, I guess, at an event, and an interviewer asked her about Porsha and Kenya. Basically, the interviewer was like, a lot of people have been saying the person that people accuse Kenya of being, that is who Porsha is. And a lot of people did not like Cynthia's response to this question. So let me play that clip for you guys.
How you made that juxtaposition to the past? Because another comparison people are making right now is Porsha and Kenya, where people are saying, Porsha is everything you accuse Kenya of being. So people are like, you need to apologize to Kenya because of the whole comment she made. They're calling her a Jezebel, a strumpet, because she said she was going to sleep with that lady's husband. And Kenya was always being accused of trying to take a polo from Phaedra.
Okay, we're getting really messy. Okay.
But like, what do you think about that? Because it's like people are saying that Kenya shielded Portia's true self from coming out because she was such the villain that everybody else who was also a villain didn't quite shine. But now that she's not there, they're like, oh, has Porsha been the villain this whole time?
Oh my God.
What do you think?
You guys have such a vivid imagination.
That's what people are saying.
No, I know that people are saying that. I mean, I love Kenya. I love Porsha, respectfully. I don't really want to comment on that.
Okay.
You guys continue to watch the season. I am a friend.
So it kind of got cut off at the end, but basically what it said was, Cynthia ends up saying, like, I'm a friend of, and then she asked some other stuff. I will say this. I got why people were upset, because when I tell you, I read the comments from the video I got this from, I think it was on All True Tea's page, and then I actually saw the video being circulated on Twitter, and people were saying different variations of the same thing. I think people are just disappointed in Cynthia, because I think they thought that Cynthia and Kenya's friendship was a lot stronger, where they were just like, girl, you should have your friends back. And don't get me wrong, I was not on the bandwagon when everyone was mad at Cynthia for saying what she said in her interviews about holding her friend to a higher standard and expecting so much out of her, and knowing that Kenya is this good person, she's a good mother, like she shouldn't have done what she did. I actually agreed with Cynthia. I said I don't think Cynthia said anything wrong with what she said. Like, she said what somebody who is your actual friend would say about you. But I think at this point, people are turned off by Cynthia, because it does feel like, girl, you won't hold Porsha accountable. You're not trying to hold Britt accountable, but you're holding Kenya accountable. And it's like, you should be holding everybody accountable for their bad actions, And I mean, what the interviewer said is true. Everything that everyone accused Kenya of, that is basically Porsha, y'all. Porsha is the one that you got to hide your husband from. And it goes back to what I said. And I guess it was like another spicy corner that I did, where I said the thing about Porsha and Kenya is they're both very beautiful women. Beautiful. Even Porsha before she started messing with her face. Because what's crazy is Porsha and Lauren never looked the same to me until I looked up an old picture of Cordell and Porsha. And I was trying to find something to put in my review for Real Housewives of Atlanta. And Cordell and Porsha's wedding picture popped up, and Porsha and Lauren look the same to me now. I said, oh, it's because you did so much to your face. Okay. But the thing is like, Porsha has done a great job creating this persona where she's some ditzy, stupid girl, but she's pretty. So a lot of people feel like she's harmless. And, we should give her grace, even though Portia's 43 years old. But then when you look at Kenya, I think is 53. I think she's 53. And it's like, she's beautiful, but she's very smart. So people feel like she's calculated and deceitful and devious. But like, even though we've seen Kenya do some pretty wrong things and messed up things, pretty privilege and the persona that Porsha has created has very much shielded her from a lot of the critiques that she deserves. Like, a lot of the things that y'all claim Kenya was, that's Porsha. Y'all swear Kenya was violent for pulling out Kim Field's chair. I don't think it was violent, but she was definitely wrong for it, But we've seen Porsha chase somebody down an alleyway and bop them upside the head. We've seen her drag Kenya. We've seen her get kicked in the stomach or the pussy by Cynthia. We've seen her be mad aggressive. Then we've seen her family and her jump Dennis. It's like, Porsha has been out of control, but because she's pretty and she's dumb, we give her the pass of being like, well, she don't know no better. But if Kenya were to do all the things that I've just mentioned about Porsha, y'all would nail her to the cross, because people still bring up the whole her pulling out Kim Field's chair, her flirting with Apollo, even though Apollo was flirting with her back, and the onus should be with the person that's in a relationship. And it's like, I'm not even a Kenya stan. I'm twirl adjacent. I just recently started to really enjoy Kenya for who she is and what she brings to the table. But it is kind of crazy to me that still and now people still want to call Kenya more whore and all of this stuff, but we've never seen her do whore things, but we've seen Porsha do it. So continuing on, let's talk about Shamea and Porsha. So Shamea was recently, I think, on the Ricky Smiley morning show, and she did an interview with Gary with the T and the Brat, and they asked her about what's one thing that she regrets about doing Real Housewives of Atlanta, or if there's any regrets at all. And she actually brought up her relationship with Porsha. So let me play the clip for you guys.
There were a lot of changes this season. If you could undo one change, what would it be?
I mean, it would be just the awkward space that my friendship is in with Porsha.
Yeah.
I would undo that. That would that's my real friend. You know what I mean? And reality is real, right? Reality, you can't spell reality without spelling real. So the place that we're in right now it's hurtful. You know what I mean? It would be bad to say.
Why did y'all let it get to this point, though? How did you let it get to this point when you're such good friends?
You know, in relationships, there's you and then there's them, right? And then there's like your perspective and mine. Right. I haven't been able to even have a conversation to understand how it got to this point. Everything that I've done has been centered in love and has led with love. And I've never been one to allow anybody to talk down on my friendship or like my people. And that's just my thing. Now, what's happening on the other side, I have no idea. But there's no way that you, Brad, could come to me and say, Porsha said this or Porsha did this. I'm looking at you like, girl, please stop.
So did the producers tell you to not talk to her a lot? Or did
no, I've reached out. I've done my part, I feel.
Okay.
And, you know, the fact that she's allowing and listening to other people is ludicrous to me. People that she just met, people that she does not know, well, they're in her ear or have said some things, I guess, about our friendship. First of all, our friendship should never have been up for discussion, to me.
Yeah.
And if it was something that was that bad, it should have been addressed to me.
Did y'all talk before the show and say, look, did she say, well, you've been on the show before, so you know how sometimes how setups can be and how trifling the plot can get. So did y'all have conversations before, like, look, no matter what they try to do, this ain't gonna be a problem?
Yeah, and my thing is, what's understood shouldn't be, you don't have to explain. Like, I'm riding for you. I mean, I think history has proven I ride for you. Over and over again, almost to the point where people are like, what's wrong with you? What you got on you? What you still riding so boy? What's happening with you? So at this point, I'm stepping back, and I'm gonna need you to show me some of that. The reciprocity. I need you to ride for me, like I've been riding for you. And as all things on reality TV, it'll all play out, and we will all see, and we can either be accountable for it, or we can keep it moving.
So here's my thing. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I'm cool with it. I believe that both Porsha and Shamea are equally to blame for why their relationship is as uneven and as toxic as it is, because it's definitely an uneven power dynamic when it comes to Shamea and Porsha, especially when it comes to loyalty. Even Marlo called it out. So this is what Marlo posted on the Neighborhood Talk, and I'm getting this via the Roa Talk. It says, Marlo with a comment sharing her thoughts on Porsha and Shamea's friendship, #RHOA. Shamea has always been a loyal friend to Porsha. It's unfortunate when the other party is not loyal. And the truth of the matter is, we know Marlo would say this to Porsha's face and Shamea's face, but I think they have equal blame in this. And what I mean by that is, Porsha isn't a good friend. Shamea has been shown time and time again that Porsha is not a good friend to her, and yet she stays. And I believe that Shamea stays around or hangs out with Porsha is because it's beneficial for her running those Atlanta entertainment streets to be friends with Porsha, because people find Porsha to be likable. They find her to be charming. They think she's beautiful. And Shamea hangs on to that. But I also feel like Shamea is loyal to a point where it's detrimental to herself and Porsha. Because I will never forget that cringy video of Shamea, and I think it was Shamea, Gerald, Porsha, and Simon at the ring shop. And she was like, what is it giving, Porsha? It's giving taken. It's giving look away. Oh, give him some sugar. Or, and you know for a fact your friend is marrying a fraud. The fact that you shared that your husband even told Porsha not to marry Gerald, but yeah, you were like, oh, give him some sugar. Like, Shamea is the type of friend that will uphold you in your BS and just watch you burn up and not tell you, girl, you look crazy. You look stupid. You're embarrassing yourself. And I feel like that's the sign of a bad friend to me, even though a lot of people are upset with Cynthia. And I mean, I understand why. Like, after the first interviews about the situation with Britt and Kenya, I think Cynthia need to be quiet, but she's steady talking about it. And it's like, okay, girl, we beyond that. But when it comes to when Cynthia checked Kenya, I think she was right to do that. I would want my friends to be like, you know what, Leah, you went too far. I love you, but you went too far and you better than this. That's what a real friend is supposed to do. So I feel like neither Porsha or Shamea are real friends to each other. Like, Shamea makes herself look lame and corny, upholding Porsha in her wrongdoing, and yet you won't check her. Because it's crazy how Shamea told Angela, like, this isn't my fight, but we're going to see you on episode 10, which I think comes out on Sunday, meeting up with Ralph with Porsha. Yeah, girl, it is your fight. So you should have checked your friend. And what's also interesting is that Shamea is going to be on Watch What Happens Live on Sunday with is it Ariane from Vanderpump Rules? And I wonder if she's going to be honest about her true feelings about the breakdown in her relationship with Porsha, because it seems like we're getting down to the end of the season. I told you guys in my spicy corner, spicy corner for the review for episode 9, it's alleged that there's only going to be 16 episodes this season, and that means the last 2 episodes 15 and 16, will be the reunion. So that means we have 5 episodes left of Real Housewives of Atlanta. So now we're probably going to start getting into the breakdown between Britt and Kelly, the breakdown between Shamea and Porsha. Phaedra's coming in. So we're getting down to the wire. So I'm wondering, when it comes to her being on Watch What Happens Live on this coming Sunday, if she's going to be honest, and is she going to still try to keep it cute when it comes to her relationship with Porsha, now that we know that her and Porsha are in a awkward space, or if she's going to be shady and really give it to Porsha. We can only see. So the last thing we're going to talk about is Angela. So Angela was on the Veil Files, and they asked her about how she feels about the reunion coming up. Like, what is she expecting to expect for the reunion for Real Housewives of Atlanta? So let me play that clip for you guys.
It's your first season. It's going to be your first reunion as well. And just like you said, like, there's filming the season and watching it, but the reunion is a whole nother beast. Going into it, who in your cast do you want to address the most, or get to the bottom of anything? And is there also someone in your cast that you're worried that might be coming for you?
I think all of them are going to come for me. I don't feel like I have any allies. I hope that I'm wrong, with the exception of Drew. I hope that I'm wrong. I don't see any inroads to saying, hey, Angela may have been right. Like, I don't see any inroads to support. And so I don't know if that's going to show up. However, I only have my intentions on clearing up some things that happen at the finale. And that happens with Phaedra when she comes. So they can come for me. I'll just be blocking and blah, 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 blah.
Because you and Porsha ended on a good note at Cynthia's party. So something else happens in the second half of the season.
I feel like she tagged in help.
Okay.
That's just what it is.
And I think this ties into what Drew was saying in the beginning of the video, where she was saying that we need another voice, is because it should not be like 2 against, let me say, Cynthia, Phaedra, Porsha, Shamea, Kelly. So 2 against 5. And I think that's why Drew was like, yeah, we need another voice, because Cynthia isn't really neutral. But it doesn't seem like, I feel like the only 2 people that Angela's going to have to deal with is probably Phaedra and Porsha, and potentially Shamea, because it seems like Shamea is singing a different tune in her confessional, saying that she wants to like Angela, she wants to be cool with her. So maybe they might not go at it, but I am expecting Porsha, Angela, and Britt. I forgot about Britt. My gosh. So it might be 3 against 1. So Phaedra, Britt, and Porsha. I think those are the 3 ladies that Angela has to worry about. I don't think Kelly is going to be jumping in for real, unless they were like really at odds with each other the last couple of episodes. I feel like I said, Shamea is probably going to play the bag. We know Drew's not going to come at her, and we know Cynthia's not going to come at her. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. She feels like she doesn't have any allies. I know they're not going to get rid of Angela for season 17, because the people are loving her and she's a good housewife. Maybe with season 17, she might be able to mend fences with the girls, but I am interested to see how the reunion is about to be, okay? I hope she wraps Phaedra up. I hope she wraps her up. So the last thing is Angela doing an interview, I think with Dish Nation. So it basically says this. It says, Angela Oakley speaks on Porsha Williams saying she would F her husband, Charles Oakley. And so Angela responded by saying, that's what whores do. So let me play that clip for you guys.
That.
I mean, that's what whores do.
Oh. Whoa. That was a sniper shot. Like, yo. Like,
but, so what
she meant it though?
What is your thought process to come to that statement?
I just, that's the immediate reaction. I don't care who says it, right? If anyone says that, I'm like, wait a minute, that's horse activities. So that was my immediate reaction. And I know she said she was inebriated and she was just having fun. But I don't have fun like that with my friends.
I understand.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you got to know what people's comfortability or play level is before you say certain things, even if you do it in jest. And you can blame it on the alcohol, but,
Listen, when I get drunk, you know what I do? I tell people how much I love them. And I hug people. I'm like, you guys are the best. I'm not out here like, I'm going to bang that guy's wife. Because he would whip my ass.
Yes. So, no. Didn't like it.
So when you go home, what was the convo like with Charles?
He went off. She don't know me. Keep my name out your mouth. All of that, because he didn't deserve that.
Right.
He didn't deserve first of all, he's not accessible. And for her to say that, it's as though, anybody can do it. It was just disrespectful to him. And he's really big on respect.
Okay. I'm asking out of pure ignorance here, so forgive me. But what did she mean by she better stop, or... what was the better stop in reference to?
I don't know. The only thing I heard with my own ears was I should fuck Charles. I didn't hear, anything before that or after that, because I was putting on my clothes going downstairs to confront the bear. Yeah.
So, do you hear this for the first time when it comes on actual TV, or did you hear about it while you were actually there?
I heard it while I was there.
Oh.
Yeah. And I immediately went to confront it.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
On site.
This is my husband.
I hear that.
I don't play those games. I honor my husband, my marriage, my house. I'm a woman first, but
Sorry, y'all. These videos are getting cut off. My bad. So Angela ended saying, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, pretty much like my husband and my family is what comes first. And anybody would feel that way. And I'm paraphrasing. I feel like Angela is here to stay. That's what whores do, girl. But I do feel like eventually Angela and Porsha are going to be cool, because I don't think Angela really thinks much of Porsha. So I feel like she can make amends with her. Because I did see a lot of people being like, well, I don't get why Angela was able to forgive Porsha, but not Shamea. And I was like, and like some of you guys said in my review, Angela probably thought more of Shamea than Porsha. So it's easy for you to give somebody understanding and grace when you already don't think much of them, versus somebody that you held to a higher standard and then they rub you the wrong way. So I feel like Angela would be willing to make amends with Porsha a lot quicker than Shamea. I also saw on the after show, Angela said that Shamea is brainwashed. I don't know. She gonna be on Shamea's neck. So I do feel like even though the reunion is coming up, that Angela and Shamea and Porsha will probably come to an understanding, but I do think she gonna give Shamea the business. And I'm kind of here for Angela being at the reunion. I hope she has a good reunion performance, okay? But that's all I got for you guys today. As always, remember to be bravely authentic. Definitely hop down in them comments below. Please share your thoughts with me, okay? Like the video and subscribe, you guys. And I'm out, y'all. Deuces.